All right, here we are for our first round, and we're on the draw. Our opponent's mulliganing. Oh, excuse me, yawning. I think I'm gonna mulligan two. This is a reasonable hand, but on the draw, I don't feel like doing nothing proactive in the game until turn 3 is good enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan. This is basically the same hand with the Wild Nicodle instead of a two path to exiles. So while if my opponent is playing a creature deck where I really want paths, worse, in general, this is going to be a stronger hand. Yeah. I am somewhat tired. I always end up somehow taking ridiculously early flights back from Grand Prix and never learning my lesson. Not getting nearly enough sleep. Alright, so we're both keeping 6. I'm just gonna fetch and play Nicodle off of a Stomping Ground. Shrink my hand a little bit here. Stomping Ground, Pay Life, Nicodle. Scar. Okay, so it looks like everyone is playing Grixis. You know, it's a basic island. I'm actually gonna fetch here. We don't want to play the Temple Garden tapped because we want to have more lands in our yard, just in case. I mean, getting this to be a 5/5 immediately, I think is considerably more attractive. Let me get the Sacred Foundry. If somehow he had, I mean, I guess he's not gonna have something that does 4 damage to this, but regardless, I'd rather get it as big as possible, as fast as possible. So it looks like no bolt from our opponent, which is nice. He did not sack Scalding Tarn, so I'm guessing he doesn't have another land. It's like one of the little things, when someone takes their draw step without sacking a fetched land in Modern, it is typically indicative of them looking to draw additional land, wanting to give themselves a little bit higher percentage chance of finding the land they need. And he's untapped Watery Grave. Okay. And perhaps we're getting terminated or something. Going to take a turn, perhaps. Shiro's freaking out about something. My opponent is just not moving. Not doing anything. He played his land, played it untapped. Clearly had some sort of plan. Oh, there he goes. Alright, we're gonna attack. I'm gonna get basic planes here, I think, and play knight. Getting remanded, mana leaked. Interesting that he played the Watery Grave untapped there, though, rather than just playing. Okay. I'm just gonna play this and attack. And we're going to, my plan is going to be to Collected Company my opponent's upkeep. That means that, or if he like taps mana to do something. It's going to be terminate. Okay, I'll Collected Company now. And this is what I was talking about in terms of the tactical implications of Collected Company. So you have like Spell Pierce. Dispel, wow. Okay, so this is Grixis twin, clearly, if he has Dispel in his deck. I was not expecting to get Dispelled there. Wow. Alright. I'm going to play this before playing my Tarmogoyf in case he has Mana Leak, because he already played a Mana Leak. I was not expecting Dispel. Terminate Dispel. Alright. I'll let him Mana Leak my Wild Nicottle, if that's what he's going to be doing with his turn. Alright. What is this? Blue, blue 1. Electrolyze me. Okay. Maybe he just has Dispel in his deck. This is kind of confusing. Oh, well, we have a lot of land over here. Kind of awkward that I got Mana Leaked, but figured that if I could get, you know, I guess given the amount of mana that I have, it doesn't necessarily make sense for me to walk into Mana Leak with anything. Sure, Noble Hierarch. Probably gonna get Snapcast Terminate. No, this is Cryptic Bounce on my Tarmogoyf. Yep. I'm just gonna sack this now. Get my last land out of my deck. Drawn a lot of land. Opponent has not drawn many land, so if he just plays like a Tassiger here, we may be in serious trouble. And it looks like exactly what's happening. This is real bad. This game was looking really good, but I mean, maybe playing that Wild Nicottle into the Mana Leak there was bad. But I mean, really, the Dispel in my Collected Company was what really messed this game up for me. Oh, Gurmag Angler. It's not actually Tasker. Gurmag Angler is not as bad for me. So, dupe. Well, this is a pretty good draw, actually. He did not actually shrink my Tarmogoyf. He has to Cryptic or do something to stop my Tarmogoyf here. This is like a Bolt a Noble Hierarch, perhaps? Yeah. Okay, Shadow of Doubt. Oh, is this guy just playing Chapin's deck? Did Chapin Dispel in his main deck? I don't recall Chapin Dispel in his deck. I know he had like the single Electrolyze, single Shadow of Doubt. He's growing my Tarmogoyf by casting Serum Visions. I'm in real trouble to a Tarmogoyf here. Let me see. What do you do? He went bottom top. Or to a Tarmogoyf, to a Snapcaster. Oh dear. Alright, well I'm getting Snapcaster terminated almost certainly. Or just straight terminated, not Cryptic. Tap, bounce, okay? And what's going on now? Just terminate this Bolt me. Okay, I'm just dead. Bolt, Snapcaster Bolt or something. Alright, we're dead. So yeah, that game was a little awkward. I mean, maybe, like I said, maybe I should have played a little bit differently and not walked the Wild Mikado into a possible mana leak. I mean, it was pretty awkward that, you know, like I said, he had that Dispel, and then I just basically kind of flooded out. So we're going to try, I think Thalia seems very good against this deck. Certainly seems better than Pride Mage. So I'm going to try, Bolt seems fairly bad here. I think I may take out at least a couple of Bolts. And maybe one Pride Mage. Don't want to draw a bunch of Lightning Bolts. Choke is, I think, very good here. I don't think anything like Core Firewalker, even though my opponent has a bunch of red removal spells. I don't think I want Firewalker. I do think that you know, this kind of setup, you know, just a couple of Bolts in my deck. It is valuable to have them as finishers as well as to potential kill Snapcaster. Path, I think I do want against Angler, Tassiger, and then you know, obviously Choke is great. So let's try this. All right, we'll play first. This is, well, all normal lands. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. This is pretty reasonable actually. No fetches, but Scavenging Ooze is quite strong in this matchup, and so I think is Thalia. We don't actually have any. We're gonna have a 0/1 Tarmogoyf potentially on turn 2. Mono basics. Alright, well, hopefully this isn't a Spell Snare. Anything but Spell Snare I'm happy with. And Thought Scour, okay. Helps make my Tarmogoyf bigger. And it seems unlikely that he has a Spell Snare now that he didn't play them before, so. Have another Thought Scour. Yeah, this Thalia is pretty nice here. Right, he is still just filling up his yard with some action. Right now, his like the importance of getting like an ooze in play, for instance, to stop him from snapcasting isn't super high. Simply because he's in a position where is he in like Inquisition Me or something, or is he Gurmag Angler? Okay, well, Gurmag Angler here is actually quite strong. My Tarmogoyf is very weak. Oh God! Oh, you can't. No, you can't Shadow Doubt me. I have Thalia in play. Oh, you're bolting this. Oh, that was bad. That was bad for me. All right, well, it's not that bad, I guess. But man, that Gurmag Angler is gross. All right, well. I guess I just want to play 2 oozes. Except, no, I don't. I don't want him to be able to Snapcaster bolt the 1. So there's not a ton of value in playing the second one. Even through my Thalia, he was able to play turn 3 Angler, which is kind of gross. Alright, I think I'm just going to go ahead and eat his bolt now. I don't have a Tarmogoyf at the moment. I want to remove his ability to use his graveyard as a resource. Alright, not really looking for a bunch of oozes. They are not the best in multiples. But I'm just going to go ahead and play all these. I don't think he has like Pyroclasm or anything like that. Mostly just want to get a reasonable number of guys in play for if I do like actually draw Path to remove Angler. Like Electrolyze Static Caster. Jeez. That is very good against my Thalia. It's also amusingly potentially very good against my Scavenger uses. I'm kind of tempted to remove his Delta right now. So we can't play like a Tassiger. Yeah, I'm just gonna remove that now. But it doesn't have a second Static Caster. That would be a disaster. Oh my God, does he actually have a second Static Caster? Or Electrolyze? Oh dear. Maybe removing this thing was not the correct choice. Well, right now he has there's 4 creatures in the yard. I can actually attack through this. Alright, well. This is not particularly good for me. The wolf run's potentially quite good here, though. Because it doesn't mean that any of my creatures could potentially get through the angler. It would have been great last game to actually have wolf run, when I had tons of mana. Getting Snapcaster now. Didn't have anything particular. Yeah, this is Snapcaster Bolt. Ugh, this is so gross. He didn't have. He had like nothing in his yard to get back, and now he's gonna be able to Snapcaster Bolt this with the Staticaster. Ugh. My oozes have not worked well this game. I think the first activation may have been sort of preemptive for for fear of that Electrolyze, but is it worth playing the Pride Mage and then attacking? I think so. I could pump for 1 at that point, and we just trade with Angler. Yeah. We're in a really bad spot now, though. This is not where you want to like get to against this kind of deck. And bolted. All right. Surprised if he had that bolt in his hand. Spellskite. Surprised if he had any of that in his hand that he didn't just take the damage. I had no cards. Oh god, is this another Angler or something? Yeah, all right, we are really dead. I am so crushed this game. Well, maybe not. I don't even have a... Well, I guess it's just Tarmogoyf and Pride Mage. None of these are even particularly good. And if I destroy this, it's only a 4/5 still, so it's not even, again, not even particularly good. No reason to do it right now, I guess. These anglers are angling me. They're getting me good. Yep. Just getting demolished in resources like the Staticaster, Snapcaster. Everything is going poorly for me. And that's basically just a dead card against the Staticaster. I guess you have another bolt or something, but okay, yeah. Trading here. Yeah, for some reason I wasn't thinking about that. Can't play this though, so. But we're basically just getting killed here by this. I think that it's actually better for me to get the thing off the board in this position, so that I could potentially actually muster some sort of offense with something, but I'm gonna die. Ooh, choke. Nope, gonna die. That would have been good a while ago. Yeah. I think that this game, the turn where I ate the card in his yard and allowed him to Staticaster and electrolyze me, may have been sort of, obviously it went poorly for me, but the chances that does go poorly for me versus like maybe he has a Tassiger that he can't cast. It's not clear. Like, I don't know how many electrolyzes he's likely to have in his deck. I know he had played one last game, but that's not a card that people often play a lot of. It's also a card that I think is, reasonable to possibly cyber out in this matchup. It's good against Hierarch, but not really anything else in my deck. Though, I mean, if he is boarding in Staticaster, I imagine he's going to want electrolyzes. This card seems like a kind of surprising choice, but turned out to be very good against me. He didn't attack me with Tar Pit, so it seems pretty obvious he has Cryptic, I think. I mean, this could just get mana leaked here, but I guess I might as well cast it when he can't Cryptic. Dispel. These dispels are getting me so good. All right, we're dead. Yeah, so I mean, there are definitely a couple spots where maybe it could have made a couple different decisions. Like, again, the Scavenging Ooze turn, but the Dispel in game one, when he was tapped down to 1 mana and I cast Collected Company, was really unexpected and really was basically the defining moment of that game. If my Collected Company had resolved, I think it's very likely that I would have won. This game, the Scavenging Ooze turn, where I decided to try and eliminate, hit the possibility of him playing a Tassiger in the following turn by eating his graveyard card. And then he was able to have Electrolyze with the Staticaster to just really blow me out by killing both my oozes. I could have played that differently, but I didn't really expect him to have at least many Electrolyzes in his deck, and certainly not not in his hand at that point, or would have obviously played things quite a bit differently. But I ended up just falling massively behind in resources and wasn't really able to keep up. So anyway, let's go on to the next match. We'll jump into another tournament.